The Nether update snapshots are here, and with that comes a full dose of inspiration that has just hit me straight in the head for Nether-based things. My brain is filled to the brim with Nether builds. I don't have anything other than the Nether in my head right now, which I think that could be a bit of a problem, I'm not sure. Anyway, the first thing that came to my mind was to build some form of ridiculous Nether portal type temple type thing. I honestly don't really know how to describe this, but I've got a really cool idea in my head of how this thing is going to look and how it's going to work. The first thing I have to do is actually find a place to build it. Now, normally this wouldn't be a problem in the Nether because the Nether pretty much looks the same everywhere, whereas now I actually have to make decisions on which biome to put it in and where I should put it within these biomes. I mean, I really do like the look of these ones, the warped forests. I like the colors. So I feel like it should be in one of these. I just need to find a good spot for it. After a decent amount of searching, this spot right here looks pretty perfect. I would say it's going to need quite a lot of deforestation. That is one thing. But once it's all cleared up, this is going to be the perfect spot for the build. Now, I probably should explain a little bit more about the actual build itself. The idea is that this is going to be just the most magnificent entrance to a Nether portal ever. Okay, it is going to look totally ridiculous. It is going to be over the top. The Nether portal is going to be ridiculous. The whole process of activating the Nether portal is going to be ridiculous. It's just going to be an all-round ridiculous build in general. I can't wait for it. So this is the spot that we've got. I would say first things first, I should probably start work on actually building the Nether portal framework, which sounds simple, but the way that I'm doing it isn't actually that simple. I've got a little bit of design work to do here. And a couple seconds later, boom. Look at this. This is looking very menacing indeed. I also added a little bit of this netherite around the edge. I do understand that is probably the most expensive border for a nether portal ever created, but I do think it looks pretty good. In fact, this might just be one of the first rare blocks in Minecraft that actually has a wicked texture that I wish I could use all the time. I've come up with an extra idea for our nether portal system. Trust me, this will all start making sense when I start adding in all of the redstone. I think we can all agree that this looks like it means business. Alright, now it is time to actually start adding in the redstone systems that are going to activate and deactivate this thing. Haven't really thought that far ahead, to be honest with you. I do know that I want it to happen in sequence, so all of these ones are going to activate in a spiral, and then that one's going to activate, that one's going to activate, and then eventually the main portal is going to activate, and that's like our mega nether portal. The only thing is that I'm trying to work out how we're actually going to activate this thing. Now, I reckon if we do something like that, but have it pointing downwards, that could actually activate the nether portal, and it will mean that we only need one dispenser on the inside, because having two dispensers will look quite ugly. Yes! Yes, it works! This system actually functions. Nice. Alright, okay. That's good. So we want that to happen on one of the edges, and then we need it to deactivate on the other one. This is perfect. You have no idea how long I spent trying to work all of this out. But check it out. We now have a working nether portal activation and deactivation system with only one visible dispenser. Not bad. Right, now I have to do it for every single one of these nether portals. That's actually quite a lot. And I've also had to make some pretty serious tweaks to the design to make it so that they actually stack on top of one another. So now everything does fit in place. I'm quite proud of these. With that being said, it is taking quite a long time to build all of them. I am not even halfway done. Eventually though, I did manage to make it all the way around the outside, so now I'm in the process of connecting each one of them up. Now at the minute, I have it set up to be 3 ticks between each one of the portals. So this one will activate, then this one, 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 then this one. You get the picture, 3 ticks after one another. Hopefully that's a good amount of speed. It's been built, backups have been made for some reason. Let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1, go! This looks... This is totally bonkers. What a ridiculous system this is already. And this is only the first bit. This is like a tiny detail I just thought would be interesting. Wasn't expecting it to look quite so dramatic though. This looks fantastic. I can't wait to see the full process. We have so much left to build as well. This project's going to be enormous. I mean, look at the redstone already. It already looks bonkers, and there's so much left to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to inform you that this looks fantastic, okay? I just tested it. I'm very happy. Are you ready? So we've got the standard spiral. That does its thing, which I'm still a big fan of. But then check this out. So there is the mega portal. All right, okay, so the actual portal itself is now all completed. It's all done. It's all working. It's all looking really, really cool. Obviously, we can deactivate it as well. But there are a ton of different details that I want to add into this thing that actually lead up to this point where it gets activated. The first one is kind of like a goblet. That is the way that I'm actually going to activate this. So it's going to be a goblet that we, almost like a goblet of fire or a goblet of lava. So we set fire to this goblet, and then that sends a signal through to the portal, which actually starts activating it. I'm fairly certain that made sense. It might not have made sense, but I think it made sense. Now, before we build anything like that, I feel like we should actually add some extra decorational bits to this structure here. So, I mean, as you can see, I've made use of netherite once again. This is probably the most expensive build I've ever done in my entire life. So we've got all of that in place. Now, I'm trying to think what other blocks are there? So there's all of the, is it the basalts? Yeah, this is quite a nice looking block, especially used in combination with the netherite. I mean, this build does look quite evil, doesn't it? To put it into perspective how dark this build is, look how bright stone bricks look. They stand out more than anything else. Right, I would say this looks fairly impressive. I mean, imagine turning up to someone's base, okay, and this is the portal that gets you through into it. I'd turn around and leave, and I would leave the server that they were on as well. They clearly mean business. So, I have spent around about 2 or 3 hours, okay, developing this redstone system right here. It doesn't look like much, but the idea is that it is a system that deploys fire along a line, 1 block by 1 block. So the idea was that I would light up this goblet that's in the middle, and then we'd watch the fire travel along, go into the nether portals, and then eventually ignite all of the nether portals. Spent ages designing it. I ran into all sorts of problems. There's also game mechanics that no longer work anymore that I used to use to make this function. So I've had to redesign all of it. And look, is there something that you're noticing? These fires are meant to be blue. After all that, the fires aren't blue. They're meant to be blue, but instead they go orange. In a way, that's quite cool. Hold up. If they start blue, and then the system turns them orange, I'm actually kind of a fan of that. Yeah, that was cool. I didn't think of that, okay? Didn't think of that. My time has not been wasted. This is fantastic. This is amazing. Alright, okay, I'll get back into the world. However, I have now run into another issue with the system. So it turns out, just by chance, I used wooden slabs. The reason that system works is because they are flammable. Alright, so the fire charge kind of catches the edge of the flammable blocks and then sits on top of the soul soil. And that kind of limits us for what blocks that we can use, because these slabs look really, really ugly in this area here. And to be honest with you, I mean, I can't really think of any flammable blocks that will actually look good in this area. So, new plan of action. First off, okay, flint and steel from a dispenser actually creates a blue flame. That's fantastic. So what I thought we would do is, instead of having my system, which I spent ages on, we're going to ditch that, and we're going to go for something else. We're going to have an underfloor system where we are going to watch the blue flames travel in these branches right here, in all sorts of different branches running up into the nether portal. I still think it's going to actually look quite impressive. Right, here goes my first proper test of this full system. So as you can see, I've got one of the arms in place. When I flick this lever here, that actually looks pretty cool. And then I also can actually remove all of the flames too. So this is a toggleable system, which is pretty interesting. You know what? I think that might actually be better than my one. I think that might be better than the alternative that I had before. That is sweet. It's been ages since I played around with firelighting. It's very cool. And now that I've got both of these strips in place, it looks really, really cool. But I'm also very, very glad that I didn't decide to basically fill in this entire area with these blue flame things. Mainly because it would take ages to build. I mean, you know, this build is huge and everything repeats itself multiple times. And all of it is actually relatively complicated. But gradually, bit by bit, we are piecing things together. And it's looking... Every single thing I add makes this thing even cooler. The next thing that I need to do is actually create the activation system for this. So I actually need to work out how I'm going to build this goblet that I light up. I'm honestly not sure how I'm going to do that. And after scratching my head for the best part of half an hour and going through various different options, this is incredibly satisfying. I honestly think I could do this all day long. I mean, there's just something so fun about it. It's such a silly idea for a redstone contraption, but it makes me happy watching it work. But there is still more that I need to do. I need to be able to get into that mega nether portal, which means that we need to have some form of pop-up staircase or something. And I actually think I've come up with an idea that could work really, really nicely and should be entirely possible, which is always a positive. So here is my plan of action. You can see I've got some pistons lined up, and we also have some double extenders and single extenders and things to put in place here. But this will allow us to walk up to our mega nether portal, which is going to be generating in right there, because that is actually the nether portal that we're meant to be using. All the other ones are just purely for decoration. I am struggling so much with this system. I think it's the many hours of Minecraft that I've played today. I'm really having a heck of a time trying to get this thing to function. I don't know what's going wrong with me. Alright, having made up the triple piston extenders and managed to get those systems working, now I'm actually really struggling with the double piston extenders that go out the front of this staircase here. Everything is just kind of all piled into one really tiny space. It's making it challenging. Also, the fact that it's 3 blocks wide means that I can't really wire into the sides. I have to wire into the back. And look, it's just pistons and things everywhere. But after a further hour of development, we finally got there. And you know what? I couldn't be happier. I really couldn't be happier. If we chuck in this lava here, look at this. Alright, is this not the greatest nether portal ever created? I personally think it is. I really do personally think it is. It's just wicked, isn't it? Look, fire goes away. The nether portals begin to break. The staircase gets retracted back down into the floor. I mean, I just absolutely love this thing. It was such a silly idea for a build. But it's awesome. I so want to build something like this on the Hermitcraft server. I really, really do. You know, I really feel I have like a measly little nether portal on the Hermitcraft server. I feel like I need something like this. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, I really do hope that you enjoyed this redstone video. It's been a fun one to create. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya. Blimey. You know, sometimes these redstone builds can feel like marathons because, you know, you get like 25 miles in, you're almost to the finish line, but then the last little bit feels like an eternity, you know? And that was the case with this one. I struggled so much with that staircase. I struggled so much. So I'm so happy that it's finally built and looking amazing. One.